So this is the phrasing or the musical etude for the bass clarinet and the low clarinet all-state auditions for this year. And I look at this piece and I think that it's broken up into sections and they're pretty different, you know, and so when this piece was assembled, I almost think of it as different personalities, as if the music itself were schizophrenic, that there's all these different personalities that I have to bring out. If I play it all the same, it'll be pretty boring. And so I want to make sure that all the different characters come to life. So the very first part of this section, I think of a big opera singer, a man or a lady, up on stage, and they're singing with a big booming voice. Ba, 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 you know, and it's like that. And so I'm very dramatic about it. And so I'm really trying to sing when I play this first section. Now, of course, I play it twice. I play it in the beginning, and if I was going to play the whole piece, I would take the D, C, and go back to the top and play it a second time. So the first time, let's get going, and so I'm going to play it a little bit more matter-of-factly. The second time, I'm really going to dig in and make it very dramatic. Of course, I'm saying this knowing that you're not going to play the whole piece, that you're only going to play probably 8 bars or so of this piece, but you have to know where the judge, what section the judge is going to ask you to play, so you have to have the whole piece prepared. And you might want to play it for your family or for somebody as a piece because it is very nice music. So that's the first section. The second section seems like all of a sudden that same person that was very confident got a little nervous or edgy. And so, let's do that again. And so there's that sort of choppy edginess. Also notice that when I have an arpeggio going up, the natural tendency would be to make a crescendo as I go to the top note. Let's listen to that. Ta-da, I made it. But instead, I'm going to make a diminuendo as I go higher because it's so much cooler to listen to instead of being in your face. And so that happens each time I have that arpeggio that goes up. Okay, so be sneaky about that one. All right, then the next section, Tranquilo, of course that means tranquil, but I don't know if it's really tranquil because to me it seems like a conversation between two different people. Maybe it's an argument, maybe not, but at least one person is talking loudly and the other person is talking quietly. Let's listen to that. And so I have to make sure that I'm playing one measure forte, one measure quiet, one measure loud, one measure piano, so that I bring out those two different characters that are having a back and forth conversation. Then finally, the bottom of the page, the Marcato. This is really just a transition to get us back into the beginning melody again. But Marcato means sort of dig into the notes, make sure that everything is very carefully placed. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe people have fallen asleep listening to me play, so I'm going to wake them up, like playing a bugle. So this whole last section is going to be like a bugle call. Accented notes, very separated and very placed carefully. And remember, just because you're playing a big instrument, it's not a weapon of mass destruction. You can play it really quietly. You can make people lean in to listen to you. You don't have to beat them over the head with your sound. You don't have to be a bully. And to make that difference between the really loud sounds and the very quiet quiet sounds is what will help you do well in this audition. I wish you a lot of luck, and I hope that you do well on your audition. And most importantly, have a good time. It's not a torture session. It's not necessarily anything that's really scary. You've been working on this really diligently, and now you're going to show off all the good things that you've done. Go get them.